Hey, I'm Christopher Hitchcock, and this is my form validation project for week 3 in project and portfolio development. So this week I took a somewhat similar approach to the previous weeks. I used an instantly invoking function expression, made an object that is going to contain nearly everything called Galaxy. Here's my selectors, and you can see that in here I used query selector all since there were so many p tags in here, um, and then I used the index to select that node. So for this one, this is the description, node 0, the first input field, node 1, and then I'm selecting the input to get to that, 2, 3, and then in this one, the text area, since that's a text area. You'll notice here there's a couple of empty selectors as well, and I'll get to that in a minute. And then my links that I put at the bottom for shared folder, version control, and YouTube. The methods I'm going to come back to in just a minute here. So then, uh, sorry, it jumped down a little quicker than I expected. Then I'll jump down to the set items here. First thing I did is the button. I wanted to make sure that not only had the class of disabled, but is actually disabled itself, and set the background and the links that I created. And then from there, set placeholder text. I also used an attribute called data, and I'll get to that in a minute, what I'm doing. That's my check for validation. So then we have the text. I'm just setting that for the title and the description. And then if we jump down here to warning text, so this is the warning text that I created that is going to be showing if there's validation errors. And you can see here, please enter valid name, whatever it may be. And I inserted that as a JSON HTML after the beginning of the p tag, so it's showing up right at the top of there. And then here's where those empty spans that I was talking about, the span selectors, come into play. If you look right here, this is where they're actually being set. And the reason for that is those spans don't actually exist until the warning text has built them. Um, from there here, I've got all my event listeners here. These are the 4 different input fields, and then this is the button itself. And here's my regular expression. This one, and I put comments here, it's looking for at least 2 letters, both upper and lowercase. This one's looking for only numbers. And then this one is accepting upper lowercase letters and a bunch of special characters here as well. So then if we jump back up to methods, what's going on with these, sorry, my screen's scrolling quickly. What's going on with these event listeners is that they are actually calling a method called checkListenerClass. And the reason I did that is because we're told that you should never repeat the same code. So if we jump up to the methods here and look at checkListenerClass, it's bringing in the input, the span, and the regular expression. And then we're just doing a string equals to get that value. And from there, we're testing if the regular expression passes and it's not an empty string, then we should go ahead and set the attribute of data to true and check if the class span height is on there. If it is, then we want to go ahead and add it. If it's not, then that's fine because we don't want it on there. If it doesn't pass, then we're looking at resetting the data attribute. And here is that check. If it equals true, then we're going to actually set it to false. And this is an interesting thing here. Even though I'm using a Boolean value, the check actually has to be for a string. So that's the first check there, and that comes into play later too. Then the last thing here is the remove the span height because we want that warning to show. Here's a console log that I forgot to take out, which I will do before I submit. And then last, it's going to do this button check, and that is right below here. And what that's doing is this runs through all 4 of the input fields. It checks to make sure that they are true. If they are, then we're going to disable the button. I'm sorry, remove disable from the button. and the class as well. If it's not, then we're going to double check and make sure that the values are false. This is kind of just a backup check. Those shouldn't be false, but just in case they are, then we're going to make sure that they're set properly. And what we end up with then is, let me drag it onto the screen here, this right here. And sorry, Firefox actually keeps values here. So, but this is good. It demonstrates that all the validation is working. As you can see, all of them are requiring more than one character. So we'll just do Ben. Now you can see we've met validation. I don't know what Darth Maul's first name was, so he's just going to be Ben. And as far as I know, he's probably killed many, but he's killed at least one. And this will be Qui-Gon Jinn. And as you can see, it is accepting multiple characters here and allowing us to put spaces, etc., etc. And what you noticed is that the submit is now active. I can click on it. If I remove one of these, it does disable it again, and it is working on all of them. So after we hit submit, then we're going to get the HTML that replaces it, thanking us for this and telling us Lord Vader will contact us soon. And then you can simply return to the form if you like, and it clears the form. So, thank you.